Yeah. So we after the hadith that is on the zina, we are saying that because the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that if fornication gets widespread, then there is likely to be a new disease that will be befalling the people. So we can see that in our society today, that we have zina, which is a major agent of so many transmitted, that is sexually transmitted disease, that is the STIs, and which includes HIV, that most of the people are dying in the world, are dying from HIV and AIDS. So these are the example of the diseases, the new diseases that have never been before, that is, that have never been there before. But nowadays we have them, and it's affecting people. People are dying. Most of the people are dying from HIV and AIDS. So we're saying that zina opened the way for such permanent negative impact in the society, such as one, violating the interests of the unborn child by making them illegitimate. Because we say that the child is innocent, but we are violating their interest by making that unborn child an illegitimate child. Because if that child is born, then he or she cannot inherit from the father. So you are violating the interests of this unborn child. And also we know that there are many things that he is not or she is not allowed to do because of illegitimacy of that particular child. So we are violating the interests of this unborn child. Then it brings feuds and murder between warring individuals and families. So it brings chaos, it brings hatred. So when people perform zina, it brings in the families, that is, it brings a lot of chaos, a lot of enmity, and also murder between these two individuals and also their families. Then spoiling the future of children already born by making them miss proper care. So after splitting, because if there is fornication, there must be a splitting of these families. So we're spoiling children's life here, the children's future, because they are already born by making them miss the proper care. Then bringing loss of reputation and property. So we are saying here, when the baby is born, he has no father, so he will miss that proper care. Then we are saying bringing loss of reputation and property, so their dignity will be lowered in the society. Then we have breaking the bonds of relationship permanently. So we have li'ain as a form of divorce. So we have that particular relationship or the bond between these people will be broken permanently because of zina. Then we also have destroying the good foundation of a family, because it's saying the family, the children should be there, the father, the mother, the parents should be there, but now because of fornication, the children will miss the proper care because the father mostly is not there with them. So they are destroying the good upbringing or foundation of that particular family. So that's the effect of zina. Let's look at prostitution. What is prostitution? So this is the act of provision of sexual services to a person in return for payment or favors. So we say sexual services. So you're doing the sex just because as a form of the service, as a service. prostitution is indeed a concept of sexuality, which Islam strongly prohibits. So we say prostitution is haram in Islam, because Islam has prohibited the performance or the practice of prostitution. One, because it's against the norms. One, because if the sexual legitimacy should come from the legal contract that we say is through marriage only. But now here they are doing the services to other people. So and in return they are getting money or a favor because of the services. So it is haram. We say that prostitution is haram in Islam. Then the Holy Quran, the Prophet's Hadith, and the ruling of Islamic religious leaders talks about the concept of sexuality as involving strictly confined relationship between a man and a woman. So we know that the concept of sexuality, that is, it's the relationship between a man and a woman. We say that it should be just the legal way, that is marriage. So Islam encourages chastity and modesty. So we must have chastity, or we must be able to maintain our dignity in the society. So with regards to gender lines and sex is strictly reserved for her husband and wife. So sex, we say, it should be for the husband and the wife. And how would that's happen? Again, through marriage. So Islam strongly prohibits extramarital sexual relation. So anything apart from marriage, because they said extramarital sexual relationship, all those things are prohibited, strongly prohibited in Islam. Unless those couples are married, they are married couples, that is a husband and a wife, and they have gone through the legal contract, that is marriage in Islam, then they are allowed to perform the sexual relation that we're talking about. But anything extra, that is the extramarital relation, is not allowed in Islam. So let's look at the effects of prostitution. We have one, it undermines the dignity of the woman who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed 3 grades higher than the man. So we know that for a woman, for a mother, our grade is 3 times higher than the man. But now you are lowering that dignity that has been favored or bestowed on us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's one effect. Then it promotes backwardness and lack of civilization when several people sleep with one woman. So when we have several men sleeping with one woman, it brings back the backwardness, and it shows lack of civilization. It's just like the way the Arabs were before Islam, barbaric period. So we are bringing that backwardness in our situation again, in our lives. So that is another effect of prostitution. We also think that it is misappropriation of money when people go to prostitute. So instead of paying maybe for your family, maybe buying food for them, providing the basic needs, but now you are taking that money to a prostitute. So we say that it is a misappropriation of money, because you are not spending that money in the way that it should be spent. So it's a misappropriation of money. It is a social evil which makes the community lose dignity. So we say it's a social evil because that person is not alone the person, but even the community itself. It lowers the dignity of that community. the animal net. So they are comparing themselves with the animals, which is another effect. So inshallah we'll continue from there in our next lesson, inshallah. If you have a question, you can ask via the Google Classroom or WhatsApp. Otherwise, thank you and have a lovely day.